So if you're not sure what is the right roadmap you have to follow for the placement for next year, that is 2023, this video is right for you. Because in this video, we are going to discuss what are the soft skills you have to learn, what are the hard skills you have to learn, and some bonuses. This video was made because I had a consultation with the people who are already working in the industry, and this guidance is coming from their side and some points are from my side. So stick to the end because we have some bonuses which are going to actually help you crack some decent companies. So let's start with hard skills. What are hard skills? Hard skills are specific to your job. If you want to become a civil engineer, you will learn different things. If you want to become a computer scientist or maybe computer engineer, you will learn different things. If you want to become a mechanical engineer, you will learn different things. These hard skills in this video are going to be specific for people who are aiming career in tech. They want to actually become a software developer or maybe they want to pursue career in computer science. So let's start with very first hard skill. This is aptitude. Now, what is aptitude and why that is important? Aptitude is actually an examination which finds your skill set which is relevant for the job you're going for. Why that is important? Because their companies can find out if you actually have the skill set which we need. So obviously, let's say if you're planning to go for computer science, if you're planning to go for software engineering, companies need to understand, do you even have the skill set or not? Otherwise, that is going to be chaotic. The second skill which you have to learn is obviously a programming language, because computer science is not for people who are not from programming languages. If you want to become a software developer, if you want to become a hardcore professional in the computer science field, programming language is must. Now the question is, which are the languages you should be learning? Well, you can learn Java, you can learn Python, or you can learn JavaScript. Now there are so many different languages. There is Ruby, you have PHP, you have .NET, you have so on and so forth. But if you're aiming for a good career, or I would say if you're aiming for a good start, these are the right languages you should be learning. So that is Java or Python or JavaScript. You can learn all three, but that is not required. The next thing you should be focusing on is data structure and algorithm. I cannot emphasize how important that is, but yes, you have to master it. Now, I'm not saying that you have to become a huge master, you have to become an expert, but you should be understanding the core concepts of data structure and algorithm. Now, if you're wondering why that is, I have made a separate video on that, so you can check our channel or maybe this I button somewhere here. You can find out why that is important and what is the reason companies ask you to learn data science and I would say data structure and algorithm. The next concept which you have to do is kind of optional, but I would not say keep it optional. You should be learning about databases. You can pick MySQL, you can pick Oracle database. That is a good to go. Operating system, if I talk about, learn about basics of Linux. So command line of Linux, how Linux works, how operating system works. Again, you don't have to dig deeper into that, but yes, you have to understand the basics of the operating system, which is important. And the most important thing, computer network. Now, computer network is something which is going to be helpful for you throughout your career. I would not say that if you want to actually pursue your career in networking, in that case, that is obviously a core skill you have to learn. But irrespective of which specialization you're choosing or which position you will be working for, if you have the skill set of computer network, this will actually help you get a better, I would say, positions, or I would say it will actually help you get better positions in the company coming down the line. Now comes the second important part is soft skills. What are soft skills? Soft skills are skills which are kind of common irrespective of what kind of a job you're doing. They actually make you a team player, which is very important. You have to learn about it. So let's look into what are the skills that you have to learn. So first of all, which is very important, dressing sense. Now, I'm not saying that you have to wear a coat, you have to wear a tie, you have to have some formal shoes. If I talk about, what I'm trying to say is that the person in front of you, the person in the room, the person who is able to see you should not feel uncomfortably with your dressing sense. Now, again, I don't want to comment on it what kind of a dressing sense a male candidate should be wearing, what kind of a dressing sense female candidate should be wearing. But yes, if you're comfortable with that dressing sense and that does not make other person uncomfortable, wear that. That is the perfect dressing sense, especially in the computer science field. The second thing is language. English language is kind of ultimate medium right now because majority of the companies, or I would say startups, who are going to hire you are going to either have a client who speaks English or have a team who speaks English. If I talk about India, India is a multicultural country. If I talk about, we speak so many languages. English is one of the language which actually helps us communicate with people whom are non-native speaker to us. So like let's say if I want to communicate to someone in Tamil or maybe from Tamil Nadu or maybe Karnataka, English is one medium with which I can communicate with. So your team is going to speak English, your seniors are going to speak English, your customers are going to speak English. Maybe you're not facing customers, but yes, ultimately, maybe if you're developing a project, so people will be speaking English. So obviously, you should be having a command in English. I'm not saying you should become perfect in English, but yes, you should be able to communicate in English and you should be able to express yourself in the language of English. The next point, which is very important, and that is control on emotions. Now, what happens usually? Students have very emotional. Even I was emotional. So don't take things personally in the professional work environment. If someone is saying things need to get done, you have to understand that they are not saying to you personally, they are saying to a person who is supposed to get that thing done. Secondly, in a professional environment, work is above everything. So you have to understand whoever is trying to say something to you, their priority focus is work compared to anything else. Now, I don't want to step into the politics side of it, but yes, at the crux level, the most important thing which you have to do in your job is work. So that is what people will be focusing on, and that is where you will be a bit uncomfortable if I may. The next skill which you have to learn is the skill of teamwork, which is quite vital. Now, let me tell you why. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you're working, you will ultimately work with team. If you are unable to express your ideas, if you are not comfortable expressing your ideas with them, if you're not comfortable accepting their ideas, if you're not comfortable accepting that you're wrong, if you're not able to forgive them if they are wrong, in that case, you won't be able to survive. And if you're not able to survive, companies are not going to hire you. So you have to make sure that you showcase yourself that you have the teamwork. So you have to learn this skill set as well. And finally, the most important soft skill, if I talk about, is attitude. No matter which company you're working in, no matter which position you are in, no matter what is the size of the team, your skill set can be learned, but your attitude cannot be learned. And attitude is something which people can judge. The attitude is something which people can find out what kind of an attitude you have. So if you have a negative attitude, they will say, "This is a negative person. I don't want him. I don't want them in my team. This person is negative. I don't want to be in his leadership. This is a negative person. I don't want to work with them." So if your attitude is positive, people will enjoy love and they will love working with you if I talk about. But if your attitude is not positive, it will be very difficult for you to survive in the corporate world. Now I have some bonus skill set if I talk about, and I would say bonus points. Some of them are from my colleagues, some of them are from mine, but they are going to be very important for you. So first of all, pick a hobby right now. If you want to play guitar, pick it. If you want to sing, pick it. If you want to dance, pick it. Why? Because it tells company that you know how to enjoy in life. You have something which with which you can actually rent out. Don't pick smoking. I mean, don't pick drinking. What I'm trying to say is that when you're going to go for a job, you will be having some days where you're stressed, and you have to find out the ways with which you can actually reduce the stress or remove the stress. So picking up a hobby is going to actually tell the company that you are quite serious about yourself and you know how to keep yourself happy or maybe people around it, and just brag about it. So let's say if an interviewer, someone asks you like, what is your hobby? Say, I love playing guitar. I love to dance. I'm learning this dance step. I'm learning this thing. I'm learning that. This is my hobby. Brag about it, because people will realize that this person is more than just the work which he's doing. The second skill set is obviously do some community service. So if you can be part of some NGO right now, become part of that. Because what will happen, it tells the company that you don't waste your time. So let's say if you have some free time available, and if you don't have your work, if you're not doing your hobby, you're actually helping out some people. So maybe you can go to old age home, maybe you can go for children home, maybe you can go for education, anything which is related to community. Even it can be cleaning up your society, maybe doing a plantation drive, maybe saving some water for the community. So if you can do that, if you have the documentation part of it, it actually tells the company that you don't waste your time, and if you find some opportunity, you will actually grab them just because you want to grow yourself. The next point is learn skills which are outside of your work. So if you're going for computer science, that is fine, but learn some skill set which are outside of your work. Maybe it can be cooking, it can be marketing, it can be drawing, it can be anything. These are the skill set which are going to tell you that you are not a boring person. Why? Because obviously nobody likes to hang out around boring people. So please make sure that you're learning a skill set which is outside of your work. This is not that you want to actually make a career in that field, but yes, you want to keep yourself occupied and you don't want to sound like a boring person. So that's it. This is the placement roadmap. If I talk about, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. And if you have any suggestions for the videos, obviously put them in the comment section and we will make sure that your questions are answered.